I'm Hasan Kwame Jeffries, Associate Professor of History in the Department of History at The Ohio State University, where I teach courses on civil rights and the Black Power movement.
And they can not only be insensitive, they can be off-putting and other.
The way we structured those presentations was by asking the students, what questions do you have about sort of race and racism in American society? And then just trying to categorize them, put them together, and then answering them in a coherent and concise fashion as possible. The high schoolers had, I think, more broad questions, and the middle schoolers were much more, well, what is racism? Sort of in the beginnings. But both showed that they were clearly thinking about these critical issues and thinking about them in ways that I think us as teachers and adults were too quick to dismiss and think that they don't think about them. In thinking about the presentations for the staff, it partly was who is their target audience? So what is the student demographic? Of course, not only by age, but then also racial and ethnic demographic. And what are the tools that they need to talk effectively to their students about the history of race and racism in American society? The way Bexley is doing it here, and what Hasan Smith was really critical in shepherding this forward, is say, no, it has to be a holistic approach. If we're going to have a conversation and dialogue, we have to involve all of the principal parties, students, teachers, administrators, as well as community members / parents, and that's the way to do it.
It was important for us that students were a part of this conversation because we know that they have questions around race and around racism. And because they have those questions, we wanted to make sure that our staff were equipped to be able to engage in those conversations too. We know, because we got a lot of feedback, that students went home and talked to their parents and families about the conversations they were having around race and racism. And so we wanted to make sure there was an opportunity for parents and community members to also engage in that conversation so that we could all have the same message and the same tools.
If we want our students not only to understand the present, they have to understand the past. And in the American context, you have to understand the way in which race and racism has shaped our world. But it's about more than just simply understanding and knowing the world about them. We are literally preparing the next generation to take the reins of this nation. And you want them to be able to solve the problems that we have yet solved. And in order to do that, you want them to be as well prepared as possible.